And now US President Donald Trump has said that Iran is negotiating with his government, but they are afraid to say so. Addressing the National Republic Congressional Committee fundraising dinner in DC, Donald Trump said that leaders in Iran are afraid that they'll be killed by their own people. They're also afraid that they'll be killed by us. Listen in.
So big, nobody's ever seen anything like we're doing in the Middle East with Iran. And they are negotiating, by the way, and they want to make a deal so badly, but they're afraid to say it because they figure they'll be killed by their own people. They're also afraid they'll be killed by us. There's never been a head of a country that wanted that job less than being the head of Iran. I don't want it. We listen to some of the things they say. We hear them very clearly. They say, I don't want it. We'd like to make you the next supreme leader. No, thank you. I don't want it. I agree with them 100%, but I do.
Meanwhile, Iran is reviewing a US proposal to end the war in the Gulf, but has no intention of holding talks to end the widening West Asia conflict. The country's foreign minister said on Wednesday. The comments by Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araqchi suggested that some willingness by Tehran to negotiate an end to the war if its demands were met, despite an initial response that was negative, as Iranian officials publicly poured scorn on the prospect of any negotiations with the United States. And meanwhile, Iran has rejected a US proposal to end the ongoing conflict, saying that any ceasefire will happen only on Tehran's terms and timeline. A senior political security official said that Iran will not allow Donald Trump to dictate when the war ends, stressing that military operations will continue until Iran's conditions are met. According to the official, Washington has been pushing proposals through diplomatic intermediaries, but Tehran views them as unrealistic and disconnected from battlefield realities. Iran has instead laid down 5 key conditions for ending the conflict. These include an immediate halt to aggression and targeted killings, concrete guarantees that war will not be reimposed on Iran, clear commitments on payment of war damages and repartitions, an end to hostilities across all regional fronts involving resistance groups, and recognition of Iran's sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz, described as a key guarantee for enforcing any agreement. The official also warned that no negotiations will take place unless these conditions are accepted. Tehran has further accused Washington of using diplomacy as a tactic in previous talks, pointing to earlier negotiation rounds in 2025 that were followed by military escalation. Iran maintains that the conflict began with attacks that targeted senior leadership, including Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and says that its retaliatory strikes will continue until its demands are fulfilled. The message from Tehran is clear. The war will end when Iran decides, not when Washington does.
قدرت راهبردی که از آن دم می‌زدید تبدیل به شکست راهبردی شده. مدعی ابرقدرتی دنیا اگر می‌توانست از این مخمصه رها شود تا حالا شده بود. اسم شکستتان را توافق نگذارید. دوران وعده‌هایتان به سر رسیده. امروز در جهان 2 جبهه وجود دارد: حق و باطل، و هر حق طلب آزاده‌ای تحت تأثیر امواج رسانه‌ای شما اغوا نمی‌شود. سطح خود درگیری هایتان به مرحله مذاکره خودتان با خودتان رسیده؟ نه خبری از سرمایه گذاری هایتان در منطقه خواهد بود و نه قیمت سابق انرژی و نفت را خواهید دید تا وقتی که بفهمید ثبات در منطقه توسط دست قدرتمند نیروهای مسلح ما تضمین می شود. ثبات از طریق قدرت. صراحتاً اعلام می کنیم تا موعدی که اراده ما نباشد هیچ وضعیتی به روال سابق بر نمی گردد. این اراده زمانی ایجاد می شود که به طور کامل فکر اقدام علیه ملت ایران از اذهان کثیف شما پاک شود. حرف اول و آخر ما از همان روز نخست این بوده، هست و خواهد بود. کسی همچون ما با کسی مثل شما کنار نخواهد آمد، نه حالا و نه هیچ وقت دیگری.
And meanwhile, the United States issued a stern warning to Iran, saying that President Donald Trump would hit them harder if Tehran fails to accept that they have been defeated militarily. As the joint US-Israeli war on Iran entered its 4th week, there have been efforts for multiple countries such as Pakistan, Turkey and Egypt to mediate a possible negotiation to try and end the war. But uncertainty persisted on where and when any talks would materialize. Iran is still reviewing a US proposal to end the war despite an initial response that was negative.
But if Iran fails to accept the reality of the current moment, if they fail to understand that they have been defeated militarily and will continue to be, President Trump will ensure they are hit harder than they have ever been hit before. President Trump does not bluff, and he is prepared to unleash hell. Iran should not miscalculate again. Their last miscalculation cost them their senior leadership, their Navy, their Air Force, and their air defense system. Any violence beyond this point will be because the Iranian regime refused to understand they have already been defeated and refused to come to a deal.